Hello and welcome to another video review. My name is Astrofigures, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Transformers Age of the Primes Aerialbot Air Raid. This is part of Wave 1 of the new Age of the Primes line. You can see here we have brand new packaging compared to the older line of the Legacy series. First up here, very different. No longer is the Transformers along the side. We now have it along the bottom there with the Age of the Primes sort of wrapped around the whole box, which is pretty cool. On the bottom left here, we have Aerialbot Air Raid, and he is an Autobot with the Hasbro logo on the other corner. A very nice look at the figure there through the plastic. It is very interesting that we're going back to plastic, so very big change from the previous packaging that we had with Studio Series. Alongside here we have, instead of the Transformers logo, it's actually a figure, the vehicle mode there, so that's pretty sick. Very nice sort of stylized look there, thrusters burning bright yellow, and we have Air Raid there with his weapon. You can see in the top left we have a lot of different information. So here we have more than meets the eye with the Autobot logo. We have a 1 of 5, so this is actually a 1 of 5 for a combiner. It'll be 5 figures that'll combine into Superion, so that's pretty cool. When this guy transforms into 17 steps from robot mode to vehicle and vehicle to robot mode. There's also 8 plus. I don't remember if we have ever had it rated before, but interesting nonetheless. On the top here we have the Aerialbot Air Raid along with Takara Tomy. On the side, as this is part of the new Age of Primes line, we actually have the Primes, 3 of the Primes here. I'm not sure the names of them, but you can see they're there till all are one, the Transformers Age of the Primes. On the back side of the packaging here, we have Aerialbot, sorry, not Aerialbot, Air Raid in his robot mode with his blasters, and then his jet mode there. You can see he transforms in 17 steps. And we get these pretty cool like runes in the background. I assume those are for the individual primes. You can see in the top right again, he is 1 of 5 of different Autobots that'll combine into Superion. And other than that, not much going on. I do like this sort of blue highlights that kind of highlight the figure there. It's kind of like in the space. You can see like stars and celestial bodies and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Other than the packaging, that is it for the packaging. And now let's take a further look into the actual figure. Now looking at what we have in the box here, there's no actual stands. There's no backdrops, I should say, compared to the Studio series. I can't remember if Legacy had the backdrops or not. Just have this kind of blue starry space kind of backdrop that the back of the box had, which is pretty cool. Kind of continuing that essence there. And then we have the figure here all tied up in the sort of bands that we have to get out of. You can see there all of his robot or jet mode components there on the back. And he does come with a individual wrapped thing for his accessories. We also get a instruction booklet and just a warning sheet here in different languages. Here we have Air Raid out of the packaging and in hand, and I gotta say, he's pretty nice to have in hand. He's very small when you actually get him out of the packaging and everything, but he feels very solid. The paint is very nice on him. The white is very, very white, which I do like. And he does come with 2, or I should say 4 accessories. He comes with his 2 blasters here, which we'll take out. They're both identically the same, but they do kind of serve the same purpose, or just because in the actual jet mode it will attach to his wings on the back there to create his sort of guns in jet mode. So it's fine to have it as the same, so it works that way. Posability is pretty good as well. No complaints there. We can go quickly through that. So for his head, he swivels. It's on a little bit of a ball joint, so he can look up a little bit, down a little bit, side to side, easy. Arms can go out that far. You can actually see here there's a little like joint there to make it look like it's not just detached, which is pretty nice. the arm can go all the way 360. Then the elbow can go 360. The arm there, the elbow, can go to basically a 90 degree, just a little bit past 90 degrees. And the arm, the actual hand can't move other than to transform, which is to kind of move it into its cavity right there. So overall, pretty good for the top of the torso. Moving down to the waist, he does have waist articulation, which you can get all the way around. It is just a little bit of a hassle with his little bit of a backpack there. Moving down to the legs here, we can kick out this far, then we can kick back about that far. Then his wings kind of get in the way. Then we can get to a swivel there at the thigh. We can get a pretty, basically 90 degree bend there at the knee. And we can kick out that far, obviously. He does have a little bit of a rocker there for his angles. You can basically do the splits like crazy, so we can get that a little bit of a pose. The only thing I would say is this figure has a lot of, let's see there, perfect. This figure has a lot of kibble, particularly with the backpack up at the top, but also with his legs. You can see on the back here, if we look, it's basically just the jet mode, which kind of sucks. This whole cone piece doesn't transform, it doesn't split apart, it just comes exactly like this. The only posability or anything we can really do is just move the wings out a little bit. So you can have it basically straight out like this. He does come partially transformed as well. So you kind of have to transform either way, to robot or to vehicle. But it is kind of weird to have him just have a massive cone there. And then his legs, I don't mind as much. I find they're pretty cool, and I do believe with everything, like, they will transform quite a bit, so I'm interested to see how that works. But overall, I would say not a bad figure for posability. Now we'll look into more detailing. There's not much going on, but what is going on is pretty nice. So looking at his head here, he does have blue eyes. Come on, focus. Very nice mouth sculpt there. Does have like this silver sort of cone helmet, which is pretty cool. Then white there for the rest of the helmet. He does have a Autobot symbol there in the middle of his chest, which you can actually lift out, which will become the sort of landing gear for the jet mode there when we transform him, which would be pretty cool. He has these two, what I presume to be thruster intakes, which is really cool on each side of his chest. Moving down to the arms, they're all in this white plastic. The only complaint I would say was just this sort of cavity here. You don't have anything to cover that. That's where your arm will go when you transform. To the bottom of his torso here, we got this really cool like white arrow, which kind of breaks up the red, which is nice. And then moving down to his legs, get nice white down to this breakup of the red, which is cool, and then the black. So it kind of goes into this white to the black, and then you can see the black throughout the rest. So overall, quite nice. We can see when we're in jet mode, we're going to see Autobot symbols on the wings as well. Which would be now, with his articulation, you can get him into quite a decent amount of poses. I'm not too great in poses, but we can see what we can get out here. With this waist articulation, we're going to see him trying to take a shot up towards the sky. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, there's tons of different things you can kind of do with him, which is nice. See, that's a pretty cool one there. So overall, pretty great in the posing department. It's just more so like when you're trying to get into the more crazy poses with his legs and his cone there will start to get in the way. And here we have aerate in jet mode, and I do have to say he does look very nice in the jet mode. When we're looking at from the top, like the front and the sides, he is a very nice sleek jet. So I do like how they kind of brought that together. As we're looking through him on the top, he looks great. I love it. I love the design of the Autobot symbols there on both of the wings. The white there, the white strip on the wing there is awesome with the kind of break-in with the top of the arms there is really nice. You can almost think of that as the thrusters. You can see here the integration of the weapons there on the side, and overall really, really good. I love the silver there for the actual cone. Now it's a very simple transformation, so we get into kind of once we're past the top of the plane, you can start to see thrusters don't look too bad at the back. Those still look great. I do love the molding there to kind of symbolize thrusting. I do wish maybe that it was like a different color to break up through the white, but overall I do really like that. My complaints start when we look at the actual side of the jet here. You can see he's very thick compared to like the rest of the jet. And even when we start to look at the actual bottom of him, it's just the robot mode. So that is one thing I do have to kind of take away from the jet mode, and I feel that is a problem through a lot of jet modes for Transformers for their second mode. Um, like I said, I do really like that top piece. It's just when we get to the bottom there, it's basically air raid just tucked under the plane there. One other thing I do want to say is I don't really know where all the black comes from. You can see the jet mode is basically all black with white stripes on wings there. Then we look at the actual robot mode, there's a lot more white than there's black. And there even is that red throughout the body, which I don't really know where that red goes. And I guess it goes only into the two Autobot symbols there, but those are my only complaints for the jet mode. I do really like how it turns out. Switchability is great. You can fly it around. It looks awesome. And like I said, when you're looking at the top, it looks really great. One other thing I forgot to mention, that does actually have a little landing gear at the bottom there. So you can have them like that. You can see when you're looking at it, you can even see the Autobot symbol is out, which is really cool. I love that design for the little what do you the thruster there, not the thruster, the little wheel to help them stand up. You can see the molding is actually really great. You can see there's a wheel there, so overall I do really like that. When he's not actually on the ground, when he's flying around, you just tuck that in nice and easy, and it goes away. So really like that play feature going on. Overall, it's a fine second mode. Now onto some final thoughts as we close out the video and the review. Overall, Air Raid is a very enjoyable figure to play around with. He looks great in robot mode. Just a few couple gripes with the back of the cable there. Basically the whole thing is just a jet on his back. Overall though, I do really enjoy this robot mode. One, it looks sleek. Two, he's very posable, which is nice, despite the fact that there is a lot of kibble on his back. And he's just very nice to have, like, just out. He's very white. He's very, like, just nice to look at, right? And he doesn't feel cheap. He feels very nice to hold. There's only really one holy piece in him, which I figured, which I wish they could have figured out how to close. Other than that, though, he's very solid, and I do enjoy that. Getting him into a lot of poses. Overall, he comes with two weapon blasters there, which is fine with me. And the jet mode, albeit slightly flawed, all jet modes really are flawed with Transformers when it comes to that. The actual top of the plane is very nice, and I do love how it comes together. So overall, I say this is a really great figure. I can't wait to kind of get the rest of the Air Raid figures together and create that Superion combiner. I feel like that's probably what I'll use all of these ones for and kind of display that as Superion. But in the meantime, a very great figure to add to the collection. So get an A+ from me. If you're looking forward to any reviews coming in the future, please do consider subscribing. I'm going to basically upload once a week is my plan. I still have to figure out which day I'm going to do that on, but that will be set in stone in the next, well, whenever this video will come out. And then this video will come out the week after, and then whatever else will come out a week after that. I do plan on posting shorts as well to kind of break up the once a week videos. So that'll basically be uploaded anywhere between this video and this video. So still some things to figure out, but I'm glad to be back and looking at brand new figures. So with that, have a nice day.